great to get it in front of people and just sort of show sort of the best of the best today.
It's very, very exciting. It's getting realer and realer by the day, and in about 10 days people will be paying money to see our show. In New York, they already did in La Jolla. That was an incredible thrill. So it's really something. It's really just very exciting.
It's that first time you put it in front of people. It's nerve-wracking. It's exciting. It's thrilling. We feel like we're ready to do it, but it's nerve-wracking. Yeah.
The inspiration was a guy that lived across the street from me when I was 7 years old, that had a hot rod that was a drape that I never talked to and was scared of, and my parents hated. He was Crybaby. You remember those early images of rebellion.
Crybaby is a nickname that Wade Walker has that he's given because he doesn't cry. At age 7, he watched his parents get sent to the electric chair, and from that day he vowed that he would never cry. And so it's meant to be ironic because he doesn't really cry.
John Waters just brings something that I think is so unique. He has such a twisted idea of what reality is, but what's ironic about it is it's not really that twisted. It's actually kind of realistic.
But I just don't see no harm in carving your name in my arm.
That song actually is kind of play on Patsy Cline's Crazy, but instead of Screw Loose. So, but her lyrics are a little off, and she does crazy stuff like she thinks it's completely normal to carve his name in her arms and things like that.
I think John Waters, even though he likes to have these sort of odd characters and these odd stories, I always find those interesting. But he still finds the human quality that everybody can relate to in these stories. So, Crybaby is sort of a darker version of Hairspray.
Well, I think, I guess they always say there's only 10 plots. Basically this is a movie about a good girl who doesn't want to be a good girl anymore, and how people forgive.
My part is a very repressed society lady who thinks the world is really, really perfect, and these people are just disturbing her perfect environment. And because of the association, the enforced association with these people, she has to expand her ideas. And she has to look at herself and think of what she did that was wrong, and she becomes, I guess, a better person.
Certainly it's about tolerance. I've always been an outsider, but now I'm an insider, which is even funnier and the ultimate final irony in my life.
It's a fun teenage love story of a girl who is pristine and proper, but knows that there's more to life, and the guy who is traditionally just misunderstood.
I would say it's a Romeo and Juliet from the wrong side of the tracks. It's a story about the haves and the have-nots, and I think it really is, it's a story about class, whereas Hairspray is a story about race. And I think, its message at the bottom line is that a little rebellion isn't a bad thing.
It's kind of got an old school musical comedy feel to it, but with a twist, with that like quirky, off-kilter, like, what? Where you have to question as the audience member, like, wait, what did they just say, or what just happened?
I need to know, girl, can I kiss you with tongue?
He says things that other people think but don't dare say. The whole, like the whole song about, girl, can I kiss you with tongue? It's only John Waters would do that. He had that scene like that, then we wrote the song. And that musicalizes beautifully, and it's very funny.
What's wonderful is when people say, gee, I don't know the movie, because it means they'll go in without a prejudice. And we've done a lot of things that are very different from the movie. The movie's a wonderful inspiration, and John Waters is a wonderful inspiration, but it's very different from the film. So we told a story about the 1950s, communism and class problems that we thought was a beautiful setting for a love story.
Crybaby is it's fun for everybody. I mean, it really appeals to, the older generation, it appeals to the younger generation because it's got that rock and roll vibe, but it has, references back to the 50s.
I mean, obviously we tried to get the period right, just in terms of the sound of the show, and it's set in 1954, so we listened to a lot of rockabilly, and a lot of early rock and roll, but also a lot of pre-rock and roll kind of square music. You know, for the uncool kids in the cast, they need their own songs, and they haven't discovered rock and roll yet. So just listen to sort of the lamest stuff we could find.
Adam Schlesinger is from Fountains of Wayne, which is a very present contemporary band, and you've got the Daily Show executive producer David Javerbaum that's writing, and so I feel like all the creative team they're so talented and they're so smart. They're able to twist this story and add all these exciting new elements.
David Javerbaum, who's our lyricist, is really amazing, witty, clever, really current with the times. There's a lot of sort of political.
Hi, I'm David Javerbaum. I'm the lyricist.
Good thing I'm saying nice things.
The first appeal was that it was a Broadway job they were offering me, and I said, sure, I'll do it. I mean, to be honest with you, that was the first appeal. But then as we did it, I realized, oh, this can be written in a John Waters-y voice, and I can actually try to be really, really funny and really bring a new sensibility or something, or just write lyrics in a different way that tell the story in a way that are hopefully as funny as possible. And the producers were unbelievably great in sort of saying, go for it.
The story is also told in the Battle of the Music. You know, the square music are the very tight Eisenhower, McGuire sister Pat Boone harmonies of the 50s, and the Drapes is really about rockabilly and early R&B, and I think there's a battle right there between the two. And so musically, not only textually is there a struggle, but musically there's a struggle going on between the two camps at all points.
You're seeing things that you've never seen on Broadway before, which is awesome and exciting and cutting edge, and it's great and humbling to be a part of it. But I'm in awe of like sitting back and when I watch the show about what they've come up with and the things that they've done. The audiences are going to be really excited.
Cry Baby was the only musical I ever did make, and Hairspray was a dance movie. So now I want Pink Flamingos to be an opera.